But meeting editors and agents. Basically, as it stands right now, the best way to break in, your best shot is still to publish through New York. Now, if you were going to, let's say, hypothetically, you're going to submit your story to 2 editors. Or let's reverse that. There are 2 of you that are going to submit to an editor. One of you writes in their cover letter, "Hi, I met you at Worldcon. After you were on this panel, you talked about writing magic systems and writing, and I really thought that your take on it was interesting. I think my writing might be something you're interested in because I actually share the same views. I'm hoping you're willing to look at my fantasy novel, Men Jump Off Cliffs and Fly." And the other one says, "Hello, to whom it may concern, here is my fantasy novel, Women Who Jump Off into Lakes and Fly. I hope you enjoy it. Sincerely, Brad." Okay, whatever. You're the editor looking at these 2 things. Which one do you read first?
The one that knows me.
The one that met you, that took the time to actually research you as a person, who mentioned something that you had taught them, that was paying attention and called you by name and sent you a submission targeted at them. You're going to read that one first for sure, okay? The other one goes on the stack of maybe I'll get to it. This one probably goes in that stack too, but it goes above the other one, to be perfectly honest. All right? So
what goes
that,
on the top?
What's that? What goes on the top?
Yeah.
Hi, I am your daughter's high school teacher who said that you would look at my book if in exchange I gave your daughter extra tutoring, whatever. Or hi, it's your best friend from college who has now written a book. I mean, come on. No. That what goes on the top above that is hi, I'm George R. R. Martin. Right? Hi, I'm Neil Gaiman. Right. Track record. Goes on top of those, if we're going to be realistic, things that you can actually do, goes on top of those is, hi, I've been published in Asimov's 3 times and I won Writers of the Future. So far I've not sold a novel, but I have written one and I hope you would be interested in looking at it. That goes on the very top of the slush pile submissions. Trumping that is still, hi, I'm Mac Bialer, one of the top agents in the business, and I've known you for 30 years, and I've got a hot new writer whose writing is fantastic, and you need to look at it because I'm going to send it to auction next week. That goes above that. It doesn't go above George R. R. Martin, but it goes above anyone else unpublished. Okay? High power agent is going to mean a lot for you. We'll talk about agents later on, but you can meet them at these things too. Agents stealth it, by the way. You have to do your work really hard to find the agents. They hide. Editors have lived their lives being the unsung heroes of science fiction and fantasy. They come to these cons and are ecstatic about the fact that now they get to be the celebrity. And they get to sit on the panel and just talk about the books that they love, that they're publishing, that they've worked on, and how awesome they are because they became an editor in the first place because they love science fiction and fantasy novels, and they want to talk about how awesome science fiction and fantasy novels are. Editors usually are going to be much more approachable in some ways than agents, but they'll also have a flock of people hunting them down. And they will learn to dodge that flock of people quite astutely. Anyway, you will meet the editors and agents. We'll talk about a little bit more about how to accomplish this in a minute. But number 3, learn craft. Most of these conventions will have nice panels of science fiction and fantasy authors who will talk to you about the craft. DragonCon has an excellent children's writing track, meaning it has very good authors presenting how to write children's books. They have a dedicated track for that. Usually all the cons will have a writing track. Some of them will have a children's writing track. DragonCon has one of the best ones that I've been to of this type of con. Yes?
So, sorry, back on the editors and agents thing.
Yes.
So how do you meet editors?
I'm going to talk about it. That's what I said. Don't worry. We'll get there. So, learn your craft. You will get versions of what I'm doing here taught at the conventions. Different conventions will do a better job of it, but almost all of them will have something related to this. All right? Yes?
You mentioned the Nebula weekend. What does that serve in the line of like?
It's over here, yeah, Nebula. It's like between these two, but it's more of a mini convention, meaning usually it only has 1 or 2 days of programming and not as many tracks. It's much smaller, but you have to look and see what they're doing for the given year. Ask Mary. She's at LTUE this week, and she's the vice president of SIFWA. Nebula is the Science Fiction Fantasy Award given out by by SIFWA, the Science Fiction Writers Association of America. It's like, you know, the Oscars. It's voted on by the members of SIFWA. So, and she's here. She's vice president. Scalzi's still president, I think. Scalzi! And I had to do that because, you know, I'm on camera, so I have to make sure that I'm keeping up the tradition. But yeah, anyway, so learn your craft. Number 4, meet authors. Meeting authors can be very helpful for networking. You can also get your book signed. But it helps you, you can ask the authors questions such as, who is your agent and are they here? Is that them over there? Thank you very much. Then, you know, asking, you know, what is your experience with such and such or this? Or Sanderson writes this way. How do you approach it? Tell me how he's wrong. Can be very useful for you, and the authors are extremely approachable at these things. You can sign up for what they call coffee clutches, which are a little round table where about 8 people sit down with an author, agent, or editor, whichever ones are willing to do the coffee clutch, and you sit and chat with them for an hour, 8 of you. They're wonderful things. I would highly recommend them as one of your best modes of attack. And so if you're wanting to meet editors and agents, editors do them fairly frequently, agents do them infrequently but still do them, authors do them a lot. And so you can get lots of good information and help. 5, meet other aspiring writers. Being part of serious and skilled groups of aspiring writers can be extremely helpful for you. You can meet them. You can trade notes about different publishers. You can try different tactics. It's just good business to network with them. Okay? Yes.
What were those things that those authors go to again?
Coffee clutch. It stands for coffee. You go and have coffee with the writer. Or your favorite beverage. I don't obviously have much coffee at my coffee clutches, but they do give you free coffee or hot chocolate in my case. So, meeting other aspiring writers, equally helpful. Okay? So, these things can be very useful for you. I will talk more about this one in a second, but